Hey guys, Ivan here, and in today's video we got the results of the Tampa Pro 2026. We're gonna take a look at the scorecard, the reactions of the bodybuilders to the results, and also some other things as well. Let's start first with the scorecard. So the results are pretty much as we all expected. Of course, Nick Walker won with a perfect score. James Hollingshead, however, was very firmly in that second. There was never any question, based on the judges, of course, of him placing in third. Joe Palacios actually took the third, but he lost at the finals to Charles Griffen. Charles Griffen actually managed to beat him based on the score at the finals, but the win at the prejudging was too convincing for Joe, so Joe took the third. Charles Griffen actually placed in fourth. John Arthur, that's his name, Duncan, placed fifth. And then in sixth, you had Patrick Moore. Collosus Ken was in seventh. And as you can see, the other guys, Tim Budesham was also in 10th. So the first guy I want to talk about is a 7th place finisher, Collosus Ken, who brought a pretty big package, right? Like, he was massive. That sounded wrong. He came in very big, right? He looked massive, but the thing with this guy is he's either too depleted, too flat and conditioned, and too small, or he's too big but not conditioned enough. And at this show, it was the latter. So as you can see, he was pretty big, and he has the shape, he has the balance. He's a pretty complete bodybuilder, but he just wasn't in good condition. And I don't think this is a body fat issue. I think it's just a peaking issue. If he was a little bit more dehydrated and maybe filled out a little bit more, he would look so much better. So he can definitely improve on this for the next show and come in much sharper, tighter, fuller, harder, and plays better. Now, the next guy I want to talk about is, again, the 4th place finisher, the guy who was 3rd at the finals, Charles Griffen. And this photo that I'm showing you right now is his announcement of retirement, which was basically like a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago, and he is back competing right now. So it took him like, I don't know, 9 months, 10 months for him to start working back again on his comeback. So I'm just pointing out how much of a nonsense it actually is when these guys announce their retirements. I mean, they come back like 5 times. So the next time a bodybuilder announces retirement, I shouldn't even cover it because it doesn't really mean much. So Charles Griffen came back, and this is what he brought. Was it a good look? I mean, sure, I guess he peaked well. Personally, I am not a fan of this physique with his torn pec, with his wide waist, with his not very aesthetic looking midsection. I'm just not a fan. Also, he's a pretty short bodybuilder, not exactly the most aesthetic bodybuilder. I don't love this physique. I'm just being honest. I think he's a great guy, though. I mean, when I'm listening to him on his podcast, he's fun to listen. He's interesting. But as far as the physique, yeah, I mean, I like the graininess, I like his back. He gets really shredded and, hard and stuff like that. But I just don't love this shape. I just don't like the shape. From every angle, basically, especially from the front. The shape of his quads, the size of his waist, the pecs, the way they're looking, and the abs, the midsection, just not very good. And he was shaking his head when they announced him in 4th. He felt like he should place higher. I just don't know how much higher, but it is what it is. The next guy I gotta talk about is the 2nd place finisher. Yeah, I'm skipping the 3rd place. We're gonna talk about Joe Palacios in a second, but in 2nd place, we had James Hollingshead. Was this a very, very good version of James Hollingshead? Yes, sure, it was. But was it better than his last showing, China Pro? I mean, I don't know if this is the lighting issue, but I felt like he looked better at the China Pro. I mean, how many times can you actually peak if you're traveling internationally? I mean, last week he was in China, now he's in the US. That's a long flight, man. That's a long flight, and he still managed to peak really well. I mean, this was a good look. He managed to place 2nd here and actually be compared to one of the best in the world, Nick Walker. He definitely brought it. This is a very good look. I mean, he just, he found the look. And I don't think he's doing too many changes and tweaks in his peak week. I think he just figured it out, and he's just rolling with this. And he's improving week to week. But at this show, he just probably couldn't peak perfectly again because he traveled too much. And this is his 3rd show of the season. And also, I gotta give props to his coach, man. We're not talking enough about his coach, Zach, right here, who managed to bring James Hollingshead from the dead, basically. At this point of his career, at his age, James is delivering his best look ever. He's traveling internationally, week to week, and he's still managing to bring it, to nail it, basically. So I don't know what kind of changes these guys made. Is it just the chemistry thing? They clicked? Is James really giving a lot of feedback, and they're discussing about the plan, and they're agreeing to get? I don't know. I don't feel like it's. I don't think it's like that. Because I know he was doing that with some other coaches like Jordan Peters. His wife also kind of coached him for one prep. He prepped alone and so on. And he never really nailed it. But now with Zach here, he's destroying it. He's killing it. So this coach knows what he's doing for sure. I had my doubts. I always have my doubts when these top-level guys hire new coaches who are kind of no-name coaches. But this guy proved that he's actually legit. He's a good coach, great coach. And I wish him a successful career from now on. I'm pretty sure more of the top open guys are going to hire him because he did an absolutely phenomenal job with James here. So James nailed it, and he has something to say.
Obviously, I brought something that was considered an improvement, and that's all I can do. And that's what we always continue to do. So what is next? I just registered for Atlanta, so I'll be at Atlanta.
All right, now we come to Joe Palacios. Now, the big question here is, did he live up to the hype? Throughout this entire prep, the last, 2 months, he's been saying he's going to beat Nick Walker. He's going to win Tampa Pro. And everybody thought this was going to be the call-out. This is going to be the match of this show, like the two-man call-out. But it wasn't really like that. No, not quite. And, I don't think Joe really believed he was going to beat Nick. Maybe he did, but I doubt it. I didn't. I mean, it was pretty clear to me that he won't beat Nick, but I thought it might be an interesting show, but I still thought there was a distance between these two guys. Just like Nick said, he's going to show that there is a distance between him and everybody else, and he proved that to us. Now, again, I got to ask the question again. Did Joe live up to the hype? Well, in my opinion, as long as he looked respectable at this show and he placed at the top, second or even third, for me, that was phenomenal. That was great. And the craziest thing is he wasn't on at his show. This was not a Joe that is 100% on. No, it wasn't even 95%. It wasn't 90%. I felt like this was maybe 80% of what he can be. However, I can definitely see that he improved a ton from last year. He was much bigger here. He was a legit freak. There are certain things that he cannot improve, like the shape of his legs, the size of his waist, the structure overall. But he definitely came in bigger, much bigger, and he didn't lose any muscle during this prep. I mean, he got massive in the offseason and kind of a little bit chubby. I wouldn't say fat, but he was watery. So I thought a lot of that fluff might go away and he might end up looking similar to last year, but no. He actually managed to stay massive, big, full, bigger than last year, and he was actually decently conditioned. He was good. But he can definitely improve a ton, and he's also doing Atlanta Pro, just like Charles Griffen and James Hollingshead as well. So that's going to be a very, very interesting rematch. I'm really excited about that one. Really, at this show, I was more excited about to see these guys who are fighting for second, not so much about Nick Walker. Yeah, I wanted to see if Nick can improve, but that's not exactly a super exciting part. So Atlanta Pro is going to be fun. And who is going to win Atlanta Pro? Well, it would make sense to say that it's James Hollingshead because he plays second at 3 shows so far. One of them was, questionable whether he should have won or not. At this show, he, let's say, pushed Nick Walker. Not really, but he plays second. So James is the apparent winner at the next show. But I don't think so, guys. I don't think James is going to win the Atlanta Pro. I think that's going to be Joe Palacios because, yes, James beat him convincingly at this show, but first of all, this was James's 3rd show. How many shows, one after another, can he really peak at? He can't keep doing this forever. At one point, he's got to start fading. I mean, it's got to happen at some point. Maybe that's not going to be the next show, but maybe it will. As far as Joe, he only did one show, and he was off. And he knows that he was off. And listen what he says.
I'm proud of the third place that I got. Am I satisfied? Hell no. I know what we need to fix going into the next one. It could be a little frustrating knowing when it's something so simple that I could have done but didn't do, as far as like not knowing something that was going on during the last few weeks. But it's an easy fix, so that excites me going into the next one, which leads to, yes, guys, I will be in Atlanta. I am officially contracted to do so, and I will be back on stage with a better look of what you guys just saw, and that's exciting for me to say.
So he is happy with his third place, but he's not satisfied, and he knows there was a mistake he made. I don't know exactly, specifically what it was. He might speak about it the next week, but I'm pretty sure it was something to do with his dryness. He definitely could have been drier at this show, and if he, with this much size, with this much muscle, with this massive back that he has, with his crazy big arms and chest and overall, just so much size, man. What a massive bodybuilder. If he gets 20% sharper and drier and harder, he's going to be hard to stop by anyone, including James Hollingshead. So I'm expecting him to win the Atlanta Pro. I mean, again, I think he delivered. I think he kind of lived up to the hype. Yes, he did say he was going to beat Nick Walker. He wasn't really close to doing that, but we all knew he was just saying that to create the hype, to create the fuss around his name. Everybody talked about him. He was the most anticipated bodybuilder to come at this show, so he definitely made things exciting, and he delivered a freaky package. That's enough. In my book, that's enough, and I think he is winning the next show and qualifying for the Mr. Olympia. All right, and now let's talk about the star of the show, and that is, of course, Nick Walker, who absolutely delivered, who absolutely nailed it. He came in sharp, conditioned, shredded, peaked well, big, full, I would say bigger and fuller than at the Arnold Classic. And, of course, the main thing he changed was the abdominal control, which was the only thing he should have changed to improve a lot. That was the main reason why he placed lower or didn't win some of the shows like the Arnold Classic against Andrew Jackson, and also Pittsburgh Pro to Derek Lunsford. That's the way I see it, and now he changed this. He started doing vacuums to learn how to control the midsection, which is something I was literally saying every other video because, yes, there is a lot of talk about Nick Walker, and every time I was saying that, I don't know if he's watching my videos, but everybody else is really saying that, so I'm pretty sure he listened to the world, to the reason. And he changed that. He actually can do that if he wants to. So he changed that. He looked amazing, and also he feels like he was better here than at the Arnold. Check this out.
Did you like this look better than the Arnold?
Yes, I did. I thought the Arnold was an incredible look, but I thought we brought in the waist a whole lot tighter. I thought we were a little fuller, we were a little rounder, a little drier, and overall just created a better package.
I thought aesthetically in the top three, you were easily the best one there.
Yeah.
A lot of people mentioned that, especially in that side tricep pose.
Yeah, I don't want to hear no more wide waist anymore.
Well, you got a lot of muscle on your body. It's about how we control the muscle on stage. This was a good balance between fullness, conditioning, and presentation. I think if you bring this to the Olympia, you're going to be very dangerous there.
If I feel we improve upon this look for the Olympia, I will be the winner at the Mr. Olympia.
Now, I definitely see all these changes that, yeah, his quads had better sweeps, that his midsection was better, flatter, and he was bigger and fuller, but I don't know if it's just the shock value, because at the Arnold Classic, I was kind of more amazed by Nick. Maybe that's because before he was off and then he showed up looking on. I didn't really compare these two showings, but I don't know, I just felt like the Arnold Classic look was more impressive to me. But I'm looking at this now, and yeah, I can definitely find a lot of points to say that he actually did improve. His back also looked better. Conditioning was good. What else would you want? The midsection was better again. Let's not repeat myself too much, but yes, on paper, this was a better look. Also, the lighting is different. Maybe the lighting was better than Arnold, and that's why I feel like that look was more impressive. So yeah, on paper, let's say he was improved. Again, the main thing is the midsection. He changed that. Now, Muscle Discord managed to find this moment right here and to make a video on this, and he's saying that Nick's gut is still there. And yes, it was there during the speech. And yeah, you know, when you're posing, when you're on stage, when you're transitioning, when you are basically on the stage and competing, you shouldn't show your gut. What you're doing after the show, at home or at the winning speech, it probably shouldn't matter, but does it not? I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it's not going to cost him a win at this show or any other show, but maybe we shouldn't see this. Maybe if he was able to keep it under control during the show while he was fighting and flexing every other muscle, how hard is it really to keep it tight while you're giving the speech? I'm sure it's not that hard. So maybe he should pay attention to that as well. It's not going to hurt him at this show or at the Mr. Olympia. I don't think so. But maybe it will be a good thing just for the fans, for the sport in general. Because the judges will see this. The Manions will see this. And if they want to choose Nick to be the representation of the whole bodybuilding, they probably won't prefer a guy who is just standing there with his gut hanging out. And I know this is something negative to talk about Nick here after he finally fixed that issue, but it's worth mentioning. It's worth mentioning. It's not a great thing that he did this, but yeah, I'm sure he can change this very easily. I don't know if he was aware of it, but I'm sure now people are going to point it out. And I think it's a positive thing, because if you want to represent the whole sport, you got to be professional. You got to keep it tucked in at all times, especially when you're on stage, whether you're competing or giving a speech at home, in the gym. You don't have to, but at these moments right here where a lot of people will see you, just try and still keep it in control. Anyways, that's my recap for the Tampa Pro. If you enjoyed that, give it a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with me, feel free to let me know down below in the comment section about whichever part of this video. If you enjoyed the video, however, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. See you soon, guys. All the best and bye-bye.